how would you describe yourself? And he, as Jesselnick, said, probably one of the greatest of all time.
Hey, yo, Spitty, what time is it?
And welcome everybody to another episode of
Doctor, Lawyer, Comedian.
Yes, thank you for joining us. I'm your host, Wyatt Figueredo.
I'm Luca Branches.
And today we have a very special guest. This guy is a great friend of mine. He is a master impressionist. He's a great comic. He is huge on TikTok. You guys probably know him, man. All the girls in my life know him and are fans of him. So
Yeah.
props to you. And he actually is the host of a podcast called Two Nosy Meerkats as well with Gabby.
Yeah, you got it. Thank you so
Give it
much.
up for Lucas Arnold.
That's such a nice intro. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad.
Almost forgot the name at the end, but yeah, good job.
Yeah,
Because I
did
feel
you
like I
forget?
know.
I know.
Did you forget my name for a moment? It's okay if
Yeah,
you
No.
that happens to me.
Wow.
No, I forgot that I had to say your name to them because I was like, "Oh, I know Lucas."
yeah,
So
yeah.
like, no, not like that, dude. You're above intros.
Wow. That's a great excuse.
Yeah, you're better than it.
Yeah,
Everyone already knows you. Everyone.
You're above me having a responsibility, you know?
Yeah. You're above me needing to host a podcast. That's not it. Yeah, I don't
People
need
just know you by your face, Lucas.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. That was a really nice intro. Thank you.
Yes.
And this is my first time meeting you. Yes.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah,
to
how old
finally
are you
meet
now?
I'm 15 now.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my God. Do you live here in the city or you?
No, I live in SF. I'm just here for Easter break.
I see.
Like spring
I
break,
see.
yeah.
I see. Okay.
You look like you just came from Easter Mass.
Yeah, you do.
I've never been. I have no idea what it's like. Do you
I
know what
know.
it's like?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was raised Catholic.
Oh my goodness.
Depending on the mass you go to, it's like 4 hours. Could be. Yeah, very bad.
Why?
It's the one time a year you feel like a Quaker. You know?
Yeah.
Oh. Wait, what are Quakers known for? Just really long services?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Oh. I thought they were just known for like being chill.
And
like,
oats.
Oats, yes, indeed. Maybe. Oh, I wonder if that's the reason why their services are so long, because they have so much energy because of the oatmeal.
Oh, good point.
Weird thought.
I think we just figured out something.
Just figured out Quakers.
I think we just like
We
uncovered
just solved
it.
nothing. But
Let's go to every religion now.
Yeah. Okay, Islam, you take this.
Yeah.
I look like I have experience with Islam, but you have a lot more than me, man.
Yes,
Yeah, probably.
that is very true.
That's
Indeed. I mean, I say yes, but also not that much. Like I remember I once tried to fast for Ramadan when I was like maybe 9, and my mom was just like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
I was like, "I'm trying to get in touch with the culture," and she was like, "You don't need to."
Ah.
Yeah, she was just like, "No, you don't know."
Yeah.
Does she fast?
No, not really.
There you go.
No, like my mom, like all my uncle, like none of them are religious.
Really?
Not one of them.
Fair enough.
No. It's just my granddad, and then like I have like some like slightly more distant uncles. Like I grew up nearby to an aunt and uncle and 2 cousins, and they were a little more religious, like
Okay.
in that they like they did fasting, and they shouldn't because they're diabetic. But
Really?
but
shit.
no, but
That's-
they're just
yeah.
no, but they just grind.
Yeah. Never stop.
No,
Yeah.
they like the bipolarness that comes with, high blood sugar and no blood sugar.
Yeah, and you said that. Yeah.
What?
Wait. Yeah. So, like, is there like an age limit on fasting, or how does it work?
It's just it's
'Cause
all.
if you're 9.
No, it's not about an age limit. It's just about whether you're healthy enough to
Yeah.
do it. Like if you're
Okay.
pregnant, you are under no obligation to fast. They're just like, no, absolutely not. If you're like really old and your health is like not as good, they're like, no, you don't
Yeah,
have
yeah.
to. It's just if you're physically able to
Okay,
fast,
that makes sense, yeah.
then you should. That's exactly like it's as far as I know.
Every time fasting comes around for Catholics, I'll just get sick or something, so I don't have to. Genius. Still go to heaven, right? That's how it works.
Yes.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you'll get in that way.
Sneeze in my mouth. It's almost Easter, but yeah.
That's what Jesus wanted. You know what I wanted to ask you about?
What?
Is it ASMR? The booty videos you do? Is that the target audience?
It was not the point, but there was a little bit of an unintended result. Was just people going, "I like just the timbre of this voice." They were just like, "Oh," I was like, "All right, I can lean into that a little bit." And so I definitely like tried to be extra calming with the tone.
Yeah. When I listened to it, I was like, "This is nice, actually. I do
Because
like
I
this."
just watched the newest one, and you're kind of,
Yeah.
using the lower part of your
Booty
voice.
listen.
Yeah.
I saw it.
Assad, what? Sorry.
No, I saw it.
Oh, you
and I
saw
was
it.
like,
You
is
saw it, yes. Oh, yeah.
Is it like ASMR aimed?
It was not an intention. The intention initially was just when I had like the first one, I just thought I thought of a couple rhyme schemes, and I was like, okay, let me see if I can come up with like a lot of really, really silly ones. The goal is just like really silly rhyme schemes that had absolutely no bearing on reality.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Interesting.
Nothing just happened.
Nothing happened.
Yeah.
Nothing happened.
Nothing happened at
Yeah,
all.
nothing happened. Just no at all.
Yeah,
dude.
there was definitely not just a random cut for no reason. Yeah.
Yeah, no, not at all. Yeah.
But-
I heard you're doing a lot of voiceover coaching nowadays.
Nope.
No? What?
From who?
I don't know, because you said, sorry.
Great
I
host.
guess I saw that online.
Great host question.
Okay, I apologize. I apologize, man.
I have a stand-up bit about doing one coaching session.
I remember it.
But yeah, it's a stand-up bit where it's a bit I really like. It's a story about like how I befriended this sex worker, and they and we're still friends. They actually stayed with me when they were visiting New York for a little bit, but we connected online, and I coached them to narrate erotic audiobooks. But that was really just a one-off. I'm not closed off to the idea of doing more voiceover coaching in the future, but it's not something that I do.
How much voiceover work are you doing these days?
I would like to be doing more, just for financial reasons. But I'm finishing up an audiobook right now that is fun. It's a very fun little book. I finished an 11-hour book that was completely in an Australian accent.
Wow, really?
That is
Yeah.
impressive.
So do you have to like go into a studio?
I have a home studio.
Home studio, yeah.
I've recorded and produced like all of the audiobooks I've ever done.
So wait, do you produce them and then like send them to Audible? I'm assuming they ask you
It's
first,
like you
or...
it's like you upload all of the individual audio files and all like the credit you are now listening to whatever, and then it's like and then you and then they publish it.
Yeah.
So you have to personally edit yourself.
Yes, that's
Wow.
Can you
I know.
tell me about the process? What do you think of, and how do you get ready?
Yeah, yeah.
To
Do you read the
narrate
book?
a book?
I do nothing,
Really? It's your first read?
pretty much.
Wow. Yeah.
I mean, sometimes I'll ask for like a little summary ahead of time, but the thing is like I have such a poor reading level. No, I'm not even kidding. Like I had my reading skills tested when I was 24, and I read at a 9th grade reading level.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. I had like an eye issue that made it difficult for me to focus on books.
Yeah, that's what I have. Yeah. I have
Convergence
a
and
lazy eye.
sufficiency. Oh.
Oh wow. It's completely. What is?
It's similar though. It's like the muscles that help your eyes converge on a nearby object, say a book. For me, they're not as strong. And so my whole life I would just read one word at a time. And I didn't realize that everyone else they took in clumps of words. I never realized people did that until I saw an eye therapist.
That's crazy. Wow.
Yeah,
So
You're doing it like it's Braille.
kind of.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so
I never
weird.
knew
I never
you
even
had that.
re-
So you
Yeah,
only
neither
found
did
out-
I until I was 24, and then I started doing eye exercises and trying to take in multiple words at a time, and I literally cried because it was like the first time images from the book appeared in my head.
Really?
Yeah, it was
So-
emotional.
Oh my
When
god.
you read prior to that, you said the image never showed up in your. What was it like then?
Yeah, a war.
Yeah.
It was just an internal war. It's also
'Cause-
because like reading is such a big deal growing up. Like you're always encouraged to read. Like libraries say like, oh, reading is like the key to success. And I literally like grew up just hating myself.
Wow.
And also like my parents would be like, oh, you should read more. Like someone like I don't have any siblings, but like I have like a very good friend of mine who is like. She would hate to hear it, but she was, in my view, like the perfect kid.
Yeah.
Like she was just like
Yeah,
a very
like-
sweet person, always good in school, good in every. And my parents would be like, "Oh, you should read more. Charlotte reads more." And so I had a lot of internal stuff because it was this got very deep.
Yeah, yeah. God. But that's crazy. I never even knew that. And wait, so yeah, I feel like a lot of a book is like taking in all the images, and just when you remember it, you're like, oh, because I'm like, man, I want to rewatch that scene, but I have to read this whole book if I want to like get to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's crazy. Wow.
It's just exhausting. Every single book I've ever tried to read was just like it was the most exhausting thing I would have to do.
How do you feel about audiobooks?
Oh, I love them. That's the
Yeah,
thing is, I
that makes
found
sense, yeah.
audiobooks when I was a teenager, and my world exploded. It was great.
How's it feel to be making them now?
It's very pleasurable. Also, like narrating a book, very different from just reading a book because it's more
Really?
like performing a play. In that it's sort of like it goes in a different part of my brain where I'm like, it's like instead of it trying to like get in here, it's like, oh, it's in here and then out.
So you're
Yeah.
trying to show it to people.
Yeah, it's like
But you
smoking
aren't
a
trying to
pipe
take it
versus
in.
smoking a cigarette. You know,
Yeah.
because smoking a pipe, you just keep it in your mouth and you go. But with a cigarette, it goes in your lungs.
Ah.
It's completely completely
did not
different.
know that.
Weird. Yeah, that's a
I saw a video of a guy explaining how you smoke a pipe. I've never touched tobacco, but I was just like, oh,
yeah.
See, that comes off as a very well-read analogy.
Yeah, very much so.
A lot of
it's I'm a good object visualizer. It's not about it's knowing how a physical analogy. Yeah.
Because one thing I always loved in your stand-up was I thought you were so fucking good at the analogies, dude. The bit that you used to do in Edinburgh, I don't know if it's still in your act, but where
Yeah.
you would talk about the guy who peed himself.
Of course,
on
I
stage.
know exactly that.
Can I say the
when
punchline?
Yeah, you can say it. You can say it.
Yeah, and you said the pee spread like the rise of the Roman Empire. Maybe I said it slightly differently.
What it was is that I watched a dude piss his pants while doing a stand-up set.
Yeah.
And that I say to the audience, I don't know if you guys have ever seen like an animation in history class of like the expansion of the Roman Empire,
So
but that's
good.
what it looked like
Hilarious.
through his jeans. Yeah.
How do you pee
And then
your-
you had one more, but I don't remember it now. But in Edinburgh, I was like, wow, I love
Was
that
it a related
analogy.
bit or do you remember the subject matter?
I don't think
That's
so,
okay.
but I think you thought of it like halfway through.
Whoa.
So I remember being like,
damn, now I'm
oh,
curious.
nice, dude.
Now I'm curious.
Yeah,
Sorry,
wow.
were you gonna say something?
No, please, but yeah, wow.
Yeah.
That was,
I was real proud of that line, and it's weird. Like
It's great.
it does sometimes not get a laugh. I do believe in it.
Yeah.
And I know it's good, but it is just like damn it.
Sometimes it's a little too nerdy, maybe.
That's the thing. That is something I struggle with in my stand-up is that a lot of my bits they get too heady, or it's like it's way too niche.
That's your brand, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you also want to convey stuff, and you want to
Yeah.
be able to communicate. In my mind, because I never liked. Sometimes I fall short of this, but I don't ever want to put the blame on the audience. I want to be able to be like, no, it is still
Yeah.
my responsibility
That's
to
the-
convey this for the audience. It's never their fault. It's always my responsibility. I try to do that, and
That's-
so yeah.
that's the exact.
We just had a guest on. You know Alvin Kwai?
Yes.
He was here in the studio before you, and he was like, fuck the audience.
Yeah,
dude.
you said
It's
the
so
exact
funny to hear the
opposite.
two exact opposite takes because he's like, I know this is fucking funny. They're fucking wrong.
Yeah.
Also, let's be
Someone
honest.
very like.
Can you? You know me as a person.
Yeah.
I think you. Okay, how different would you say I am as a person from Alvin Kwai?
Probably.
With as much, he's hilarious and a great comic, and I like him, but we are such different.
I think
people.
if you stood on my shoulder and he stood on my shoulder, I would know which is the angel and which is the devil.
you know, of course you would.
Yeah.
Burn all the. Yeah.
Yeah, he was on here. He's like, kill every open micer.
It was so funny. That's hilarious.
Do you have a hot take for us, Lucas, like that?
Yeah, any shit you want to talk?
Oh my God, I have. Oh, I wish I had something juicy like that. I don't have. No, I'm sorry.
He's political, so
Yeah, I
he
know.
doesn't just burn bridges on the air.
Damn it.
No, I'm not someone who burned bridges. It's also that I'm someone who likes the open mic scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I genuinely really enjoy open mics and occasionally seeing something terrible.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
I love it. Believe
No,
me,
because
it's
you
amazing.
then learn a new way not to do a joke.
Yeah. There's a billion, but you learn a new one.
That's why I
Yeah.
tell him. I'm like, you can't just watch good stand-up. Watch bad stand-up and see what you fucking hate about it. And
Yes.
don't do that.
Yes, that's very good. That's very
Yeah.
healthy.
Yeah.
It's also like sometimes you get to see something you've never seen before and it inspires you so much. That's my favorite thing when you see someone you've never seen before.
I know.
Like okay, there is one comedian who I'm so sorry I forget his name, but he just did there was one thing he did that he would just say, Wyatt, what's your sign?
Libra.
Oh, so you eat ass?
This is-
It's so simple. But it burned a hole in my memory forever.
Did it work?
Oh, it crushed.
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
That's
and
gonna
by the
work.
way, he did it again to another person, and they said something else, and then he took a pause, but he was like, "So you
Yeah.
eat ass."
That's funny, man.
That's hilarious.
It's such a simple good joke. It was a chicken nugget of a joke.
Exactly.
I loved it.
Yeah, that's what I love about these mics and just random places because you're just like, wow, like this person is like some of these guys are just terrible, but I love it because it's just like whoever gets to see that. When are you ever
Yeah.
going to see that ever again?
I was once at a mic where a dude was doing joke after joke after joke that was bombing, and then he was like, but he also was like give him credit for like he was so confident and was not taking in the lack of response. He was just still going, and then he started flicking through his notebook, and he was like, "All right, that one works." And then he just, as he was like just vocalizing his thought, that one's good.
Yeah,
and we were all just really funny. We were laughing so much because we were like, it probably doesn't.
Yeah, that's funny.
I have a story of one time I wish I had saved the picture, knowing that we we're going to talk about it, but you viewers can see it, but I just have to describe it to you. A guy comes on. He is set fucking 77. He comes on. He's wearing an entire Canada jumpsuit. He's wearing a Canada hat with Canada sunglasses.
Okay.
Okay. He walks up on stage. He just goes, "So I fuck with Canada," and it must have got a minute and a half laugh.
That's so like why you told me that story after, and I could not stop laughing.
I wish I could see what I'm imagining it just like the most Canada the fuck out dude.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's like if Tim Hortons was a guy.
Yeah. Oh, or Tim.
Yes. I know that, but I meant like if I knew what he looked like, that's what I would imagine him to look like.
Yeah. I got you.
Yeah.
That's so good. I'm trying to think of like if I saw anyone like ever go to a mic but in like a full costume.
Yeah, who prepares for a mic like that? That's for a mic especially.
Legit.
But that's hilarious.
I
That's
did once
amazing.
see, there's a comedian called Tim Meyer. He's really, really funny. And he came up sort of dressed as like an old-timey cartoon burglar, you know, with like a mask and a sort of like black and white suit. And he had like a bag full of swag. And he came on stage and started pulling out stuff. And he was like, "I'm the joke thief." And he started like doing riffs on everyone else's joke from before. And he had like something for everyone. And it was so enjoyable. Because you can tell, that's great. I love a moment like that.
You ever done Schtick or Treat? I feel like you'd be
Yes,
great
I
for
have.
that.
Yeah. It's where you dress up as another comedian and do their.
You remember I've shown you like JP McDade as Anthony Jeselnik.
Oh, yeah.
And Robbie Goodwin and Pete Davidson.
His Anthony Jeselnik is unreal.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's so good. I once.
Can you do him?
Anthony Jeselnik, I can't do. I maybe if I put effort into it, but I have not.
Yeah.
No.
Sorry, you once saw JP.
I just once saw him do it like at the beginning of a festival, and I think not festival, it was the beginning of a roast battle, and like someone asked like, JP, how would you describe yourself? And he, as Jeselnik, said, "Probably one of the greatest of all time."
Yeah.
Sort
That
of
was
like,
great.
That was amazing. I mean,
Not.
That was half
good.
credit. That wasn't good. I know what that there is because he does it much better. That
mean-
was like off the top, but
yeah. Do you do like comedians? Like,
I can do comedian.
You can, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, it
I
depends.
guess, yeah.
But I did once Schtick or Treat.
Who were you?
I was my friend Chris Schur.
Yes, I know.
And she and I, we did impressions of each other. And I could do an impression of, and she just sort of did, like, sort of a half rendition of, like, some stuff that
White
I've done
guy?
on TikTok.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
it was, but it was, what was funny was that we did it, and like no one at the show knew who either of us were,
Yeah.
and so it wasn't as good as we knew it was.
It's still at the Knitting Factory.
Oh no! Wait, Schtick or Treat. No, I did. It was like a Halloween show at Grove 34. It's the exact same concept, but like,
I gotta go this year. That's fun.
yeah. Oh yeah, it's a fun time.
That's great.
Yeah.
It was a few years ago that we did that. Yeah.
I remember you didn't do many impressions in your act.
Well,
Has
I
that
don't.
changed?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I respect that a lot. Yeah, that's great.
Well, I mean, like, I have, like, maybe one or two jokes that involve an impression, but it's not something I try to do at all, ever. I mean, I do have a new monthly show that is called First
Plug
Impressions.
Plug it.
Yeah.
First Impressions Comedy
When's
on
the next one?
Instagram. We're getting a
date.
We're getting a date for our second show, but the first show, very big success, and I was it was a really solid show, and I was surprised as many people came because like it was a day that we lost someone in the comedy community. Shout out to Jay Agbon,
Yes.
who I adored, and there is a fund to help his family with like funeral expenses and travel and stuff. But we got the news that he had passed away the morning of like our show, and then it felt like really weird trying to promote a show.
Yeah,
the day
you're
you
like
just heard of
posting it on your story and stuff. You're like,
and it worked out. The show went really well. I really was beyond happy with how it went. But yes, next one I'm very excited for.
Yeah, that
That
sounds
one
great.
is where you're on stage doing impressions. Actually,
Yes, that is one where we actually do, and it's where we encourage like the comedians on our lineup to do impressions as well. Ones that they have like prepared, let them like toot their own horn, but we also do ones where we pick them out of a hat and they just have
that's
to do it
fun.
on the spot.
That's hard, man.
I'd be so nervous.
We do the same thing though. We do the same thing, and me and my co-host Pat Monahan, we decided to challenge ourselves, and so we had a thing where an audience member could volunteer to come on stage and have us do an impression of them.
Oh, that's so
And
fun.
how is it?
It was stressful. And
That'd make for a great TikTok.
Yep, I did not do a good job. Honestly,
that's
I didn't.
funny, yeah.
It was my. It was Pat's roommate Jam who came on.
That's cheating, so he knows her better.
Oh, he knew him a lot better. Yeah.
Him.
Disgusting. Yeah, but it was a really fun show. It was good. Yeah.
Wait, before we end it, because I mean, I think we have about how many more minutes? Probably like 4 or 5. I have 3 minutes. I just want to ask you. So you're doing like audiobooks, right? Voice acting, stand up. What is your overall goals like? What's your overall goal? Is it, like, do you want to be mainly a stand up?
I would say yes. Yeah. My main goal is still to be mainly a stand up. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah.
And to grow in comedy.
That's so impressive because you are so good at the impressions. So to not put them in your act.
Yeah.
It's more that I can't think of a reason to put them in my act.
Other than a lot of, like, you ever watch, I don't want to throw shots. Melissa Villasenor is great, but back when she used to do AGT, her whole act was just the impressions. You don't like shoehorning it.
No, it doesn't make sense to.
Yeah.
Well, I just think about like the material that excites me, and it's not it's never that involves
Agreed.
impressions unless it like naturally arrives. I never want to wedge an impression in something.
Yeah.
I never want to do that, and like I'll do like impressions for like if someone else is like, hey, I'd love you to be in this sketch. Like I am okay painting your house whatever color you want, but I don't want you to tell me what to paint my interior. Does that make sense?
That's fun. Yeah.
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 Look at his analogies, man.
Yeah, I know. Deep thought, man. That was a crazy.
Good at analogies.
Thank you.
Another
Yeah.
thing I really like about your stand-up is, like, you go so deep into your personal life.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. I do get, yeah.
Because
I
I
do get
struggle
pretty
with
deep.
that. I feel like all my stuff is just, it's jokes.
Yeah.
And I really like that.
What do you think is a point of struggle for you? Being vulnerable?
What's even interesting about my life?
Therapy. Yeah.
You know?
Why do you find stuff uninteresting?
Okay.
I
Because
can find
when
a
I
lot of
listen,
stuff about your life that's fucked up.
yes, I'm sure you could. Because like the things you talk about and that are deep, you know, I really appreciate like you talking about like experiences with your mother when you were younger and like you looking like that and then like your father recently.
Yeah.
Wait,
and
looking
then,
like what?
I apologize to the Caucasian community. The first time that's been said.
Yeah. Well,
That's maybe my ringtone.
And then
Yeah.
you talk about I believe you used to have a thing about like being cheated on. Like I find it hard to find stuff interesting about me.
I think that it's when you naturally find yourself laughing at something, or if you find something where you're like, oh my God. Like it's when you naturally find something funny that you will then be able to figure out how to communicate it on stage. It was also that like stand up actually helped me like process some, like when around like my dad's death, it was when I started trying to figure out material about it that I actually just learned how I felt about certain stuff. And that was because I find it very hard to be in touch with my own emotions. And so it actually like pushes me to actually like take stock of how I actually reacted to something. And I was like, wait, I actually don't like this.
That's great. And so once you realize that, is that going in the bit or is that just self-healing for yourself?
It's the I mean, like you definitely don't want to air out dirty laundry on stage. You don't want to be unhealed on stage because like the audience is going to be like, oh, you want to get to the point where you can have fun on stage.
Yeah.
It's when the audience can tell you're having fun that they then feel like they feel comfortable and safe with you.
Okay,
And that's the important thing is like work out your shit. And then once it's worked out, figure out once the platform is built, how can you dance on it? But you can't dance unless the platform is sturdy.
That's nice. Another great analogy.
Yeah.
By Lukas Arnold. Lucas, so we gotta go, and I'd love to promote you on my show this Friday, but this episode won't be out yet.
Damn it.
So promote your Edinburgh show or whatever
And your
dates you have.
podcast and everything.
Yeah. No, but my podcast co-host and I, Gabby, we're gonna be doing a show in Edinburgh this year. We're gonna be doing a split stand-up show, which I'm very excited for.
Hell yeah.
We're gonna talk about the details of that. In time. Yes, you can find me on all social media at Lucas T. Arnold. People say Lucas Darnold. I'm like, no, my middle name is Theodore. That was just the handle I could get.
Yeah.
But yeah, Two Nosy Meerkats, Lucas T. Arnold on all social media. Follow me, and I'll see you around.
Oh yeah, you want to plug your you don't
yes,
have a
the
date
show
yet.
First Impressions Comedy. That's our Instagram handle. And we'll let you know when our next show is.
Anyways,
Great.
guys, thank you for listening.
Subscribe,
again.
notifications, all that. Getting
Just
really
say every time.
Subscribe,
Dude,
notifications.
Spotify, Apple Music, please follow us, and on YouTube, please subscribe. Thank you.
24 hours to live, man, need a young mace. 24 seconds on the clock, I hit the pump fake.
24 on my back, one day I was 8, looking down from the top, yeah, it was fake.